This is Taylor Schaefer with Morgan James Publishing, and I have the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Shelia Craig Whiteman about the upcoming release of her new book, To Pee or Not to Pee, the guide for reducing and eliminating urinary incontinence. Sheila, it is such a pleasure to be able to have this interview with you today, and thank you for joining me for the living room edition of your book launch. I do have a couple of questions for you, so I'd love to go ahead and just dive right into those.
Fabulous. Okay.
All right, wonderful. So my first question is, could you tell us a little bit about your background and what is a pelvic health physical therapist?
I certainly can. My background, I am a physical therapist. I have a doctorate in physical therapy. And for the past, I would say 12 years, I have specialized in pelvic floor physical therapy, also lymphedema and oncology. But for purposes of this, we're talking about pelvic floor physical therapy. And what that is, a lot of people actually don't know what that is. But what we do is that we treat women and men. I mostly treat women. And it's for any issues that you have trying to urinate or pee, trying to have a bowel movement, or even sexual dysfunction. We also do abdominal work, so people who have scarring from abdominal surgery, or even just abdominal pain. There's a lot of abdominal conditions that are going on now from stress, whatever, but we can help with that. So in a short nutshell, that's what pelvic floor therapy does.
Okay, gotcha. So you have a lot of background, of course, and a lot of information to dive into, and especially what relates to the book as well. So that brings me to my next question. Why did you want to write this book?
Well, actually, a lot of my patients gave me the idea that I should write the book. So that was for years, actually. They just kept saying, because I do talk a lot. You talk so much and you explain everything so well. Why don't you write a book? Because we honestly don't know, and we don't know where to get this information. And I kept mulling it over and mulling it over. And finally, once I stopped doing so much work in the clinic, I don't go that often. I thought it would be a great time to go ahead and do my book. I didn't want to leave all of this knowledge in my mind and not share it with people, especially when it would help them. So that's really why I decided to write the book at this time.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that. And for our viewers right now, do you have any suggestions on what can be done to stop bladder leaks?
I do. I can give you a couple of tips. More tips you would have to either get from the book, because I have to say there is a lot. People really think that you can do Kegels and your bladder leaks will magically disappear. And that is not true. I wish it was, because then we wouldn't have such a big problem with urinary incontinence. It's, probably 50% of women at any given time. So there is a mastery to doing a great Kegel. So I think I'm going to start there. So when you do a Kegel, everybody thinks, okay, well, I'm just going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. But it's not that simple. So you have to squeeze, and then you have to really feel a lift. Okay, you have to feel a lift of those muscles. If you can achieve that and probably do those on a regular basis, because you do have to do them every day, I hate to tell you. But if you can do that, then you can help to stop some of your pelvic leaks or reduce them. Okay. Other things you can do actually is make sure that you have a strong core and that you have strong hip muscles. They're all interrelated because they're all semi-connected. And that's something that people don't really think of. They look at our parts of the body in isolation, and they just are not. So, long-winded question, so you can see I talk a lot. I like to explain.
Oh, I love that. I love a good explanation.
Yes, but to answer your question, so you can really try to work on doing a good Kegel, and also make sure that you are keeping your abdominal muscles strengthened and your hip muscles. And then if you're trying and you can't get the reduction or stopping of your leakage, seek help. Either read, do coaching, do pelvic floor physical therapy, but seek help. Maybe it's just a little tweak that you need.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing those tips with us. And then where can the viewers at home connect with you?
So I am on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. So Instagram is Dr. Shelia, the pelvic coach. And on Facebook, I am Dr. Shelia Health and Wellness.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want, I do have, this is what my book looks like. Right?
Wonderful.
To Be or Not to Be. So if you want to just get some more information on my book, you can go to my website, which is which my son said I shouldn't even say anymore, but it's to P or not to, the number 2.com. So to P or not to number.com.
Okay, perfect. So there are so many ways to connect with Dr. Shelia again. And obviously, for more tips, you can connect with her and pick up the book as well.
That is correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, and I do want to just end with this. I always like to end with this. Bladder leaks are not normal.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a consequence of aging. If you have leakage, try to do something about it. You just don't have to live with that worry.
Right.
But yes.
Definitely. So thank you so much, Dr. Shelia, for joining me today. It has been such a pleasure. And thank you, everyone that at home that is watching from your living rooms as well. And be sure to check out Dr. Sheila's book, To Pee or Not to Pee.
Yes. Thank you so much, too. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. You're very welcome.